What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another video. And in this video, we are talking about a potential free agent that the Detroit Lions could be interested in. That is a player that was released today from Miami, Tackle Charlton. Let's get it started. That is right, everybody. Tackle Charlton has been released from the Miami Dolphins today. I believe it's today, right? Yeah, today. And he is a former Michigan Wolverine standout who was drafted in the first round just a few years back by the Dallas Cowboys, pick number 28. He is set to be on his third team already in this short career, which is, it's honestly super unfortunate, but let's be real here. So far in his career in the NFL, it hasn't been very good. Now, with Miami last season, he actually probably had his best year, but Miami brought in a overhaul of players for that front seven. They brought in defensive ends, they brought in edge rushers, they brought in linemen, they brought in so many players that, you had to make some cuts, and then decided to move on from Tackle Charlton, who I wouldn't say is a proven player. Last year with the Dolphins, he wasn't bad in the amount of time that he did have, but I wouldn't say he's proven because of the first 2 years with Dallas, he was so bad. It was like, oh yeah, he's a bust. He looked like a bust. And I would say for a 28th pick, he hasn't lived up to that. I wouldn't say he's even lived up to mid-round hype. But I would say that, last season wasn't awful. So, maybe the Detroit Lions give him a chance. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, let's get into that in a second. Let's talk about Taco a little bit. He is a 6'6", 270-pound defensive end who, like I said, was drafted out of Michigan, pick number 28, went to Dallas out of the draft, struggled a lot. They didn't decide to wait. They didn't wait for him. They didn't give him an opportunity to, see if he could become something, right? 2 years. In 2 years, they said, hey, okay, you know what? We're moving on. It didn't work out. He goes to Miami. We were actually talking about him last year, which is crazy. We're talking about this last year because, he was available, but he went to Miami. And at Miami, he had a better season. But again, now Miami is moving on from him because they brought in so many players. I think, if he was on a different team, maybe he stays another year. Maybe they don't release him because, maybe they don't bring in so many players. But the Miami Dolphins had tons of money and they had tons of draft picks. All right, they had 3 first-round draft picks. They're going to overhaul that complete team, right? They're trying to do something new. They're trying to get a lot of excitement over there. So they did something new. And, at that point, you had to start moving people. And they decided to move the former first-round pick, Tackle Charlton. They took a chance on him, though, right? They took a chance on him. And in 2019, he had 5 sacks, 21 total tackles, and 5 quarterback hits in 10 starts, which honestly isn't bad, right? You look at that and you're like, okay, that's solid. That's not bad. But the first 2 years kind of just push you away a little bit. So why would the Detroit Lions be willing to bring in a guy like this? Well, I'm going to give you one reason. One player, actually. That guy is Joshua Garnett. The Detroit Lions actually signed a former first-round guard this offseason from the 49ers that was drafted back in 2016. So it's kind of the same thing, right? Tackle Charlton 2017, Joshua Garnett 2016. Now, the Detroit Lions win the draft. They brought in Logan Stenberg and Jonah Jackson, Big V out of free agency. They brought in some pieces. So he may not start. He may be a depth guy. He may start, though. He's going to get the chance to compete for it. But the Detroit Lions gave him an opportunity, right? They're going to give him an opportunity, kind of a prove-it deal. Like, hey, we know you were a former first-round pick. We know the potential's there. What can you do, right? Can you show us something? And, they're going to give him an opportunity this season. I'm not going to say right now he can't start. He might be able to. Maybe he wins the job. I don't know. We'll see what he does. But obviously, after the draft, his odds are looking a little bit worse. But again, they did bring in a player and they're giving him an opportunity. That would be the same thing they would do here with Tackle Charlton. Now, the one concern I do have is that I think if the Lions are going to go pass rusher, because it's already pretty deep. I mean, you got a lot of D linemen for the amount of linemen you play at a time. You're probably going to want to grab someone proven, like Jabal Shear, like Everson Griffin, someone that you can consistently rely upon to give you a certain number of sacks or plays in the backfield, because that's what you need, right? You have a lot of unproven players already. You have Austin Bryson, you got your Deshaun Haynes, you got your picks that are unproven. So I can understand why the Lions wouldn't go this route because they already have so many unproven players. But if they wanted to take a chance and give another unproven player an opportunity to potentially shine and maybe find a diamond in the rough, that could be Tackle Charlton. Now, I don't think they will do it, again, just because of the point I said. I mean, they have a lot of depth at the defensive line position and the edge rusher position. And I think if they're going to bring in anybody, it's going to be someone that's a little bit older, someone that they know what they're going to get, and possibly with Patriot ties. Tackle Charlton doesn't have that, right? He doesn't have the consistency. He's not a veteran, and he doesn't have Patriot ties. So I could definitely see the Detroit Lions passing on him. But at the same time, because of the Joshua Garnett move, we have seen the Lions take a chance on someone. So who knows? Maybe the Lions take a chance on Tackle Charlton. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I really wouldn't. Again, I think it would be a really cheap deal. So it wouldn't be that much money. So it wouldn't be a huge deal. But, maybe bring him for training camp, see what he does, and if he doesn't pan out, you release him. Maybe give him just some kind of opportunity. I don't think he'll be very expensive. If you're just getting released like this like crazy, you're not going to be super expensive. I don't think there's going to be that many buyers. So the Lions could potentially get him for a cheap contract and bring him in. And I wouldn't have any problem with that, giving him a chance. But at the same time, if they don't, I understand why not. Because, you're probably going to grab someone proven, if anybody, because you already have these players that you're kind of interested to see, okay, what can they do? You don't want to take away time from those guys. So I get it. So we'll see what they do. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think they'll bring in Taco? Do you want them to bring in Taco? Thank you, Brad, for watching, and I'm out.